everyone, I'm Susan Staravo, and today we're talking about estate planning lessons. And I'm joined by Lisa Featherngill, Comerica Wealth Management National Director, Wealth Planning, Andrea Bruce, Comerica Trust, Senior Vice President, Managing Director, Specialty Wealth Solutions, and then also Stephen Zaminski, Comerica Trust, Vice President, National Manager, Estate Settlement. I got all those titles down. So let's talk about unpacking Aretha Franklin's estate, the need for a valid will. Oftentimes when a celebrity passes away and they don't have a will, we see it in the headlines and we wonder what happened there. Lisa, let's start with you. Tell us about Aretha Franklin's estate.
Sure. As successful as Aretha Franklin was, she did not have a formal will. In fact, she had multiple handwritten wills. There was one that was initially found, and then later one was found between the cushions of her couch. And it was signed with the letter A and a smiley face. It did have a date on it, so everybody knew that the date was subsequent to the first will. But the family members ended up going to court to get a ruling on whether it was even valid. Each state is different in terms of their requirements. Michigan, where she lived, does not require witnesses, and so ultimately a jury found that it was valid. Well, it caused significant family friction because the two wills divided up her estate very differently between her four children. So that was, it ended up in lawsuits, family friction, and didn't need to be there.
Not at all. So in this session, we're going to tell you ways to avoid something like that happening. In our next slide, we are talking about what is a will. And Stephen, you're going to take that question for us. Just summarize, what is a will?
Sure. Yep. A will is a legal document that details how a person's assets and property should be divided after their death. If it's well constructed, it can also designate guardians for minor children and specify any detailed last wishes. When carefully planned and considered, a will does ensure that the final wishes are honored and helps to minimize potential disputes and ambiguities.
Well, that seems pretty straightforward, but we see cases where there isn't a will at all. Andrea, you're going to tell us about what happens if there is no will.
Sure, thanks. So if a client does not document and sign a will, or if they have a will that ultimately is deemed invalid, their estate will end up distributed according to what is called intestacy laws. These are jurisdiction-specific laws designed to address inheritance. So in Michigan, where Aretha lived, if there is no valid will, the assets are divided among the surviving family members based on a specific set formula. This sounds straightforward, but oftentimes you can end up in a situation where the assets are distributed to individuals, perhaps that the decedent would not have wanted them distributed to, and that can ultimately lead to disputes among heirs as well.
So Andrea, what happens when there is lack of clarity?
So lack of a clear will can lead to family conflict and financial impact, which is definitely what happened in the case of Aretha Franklin's situation. This is really a strong example why it's important, because without a definitive will, estates may face unnecessary legal fees, family strife, asset depreciation, and even tax complications.
Okay, great information. Lisa, we're going to ask you to come back on screen and share your final thoughts.
Thanks. So this is a great example of why it's important to have a formal will, to see a estate planning professional, because typically they will give you a copy of the will to take home and they'll keep a copy. And so we always want to let your heirs and executors know where that copy of the will is located. And if there are previous versions, shred them. Typically, a will say this will supersedes all previous wills, but just in case, get rid of the old version, let everybody know where the current version is, and work with a professional.
Okay, Lisa, thank you so much. And thanks to Andrea and Stephen as well. If you would like more information on this topic, just head to our website, comerica.com/know more, and also comerica.com/insights, where we have a whole lot of content there. Thank you so much for joining us.